Not sure about you guys, but over the last couple of years, I got this new term that I've been hearing, and it's called a life coach. I've been wondering what these people do, so I decided to get Razia Mohamed here. She's from Johannesburg, and she's one of those people that's a life coach. And I want to find out what you do. Razia, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, Faizal?
I'm doing well, thank you. I've been hearing this term for a long time, life coach, and I want to talk to you about that because I think it's something that, I think it's a good thing. I looked at what you do and I didn't know it was that intense. But before we go into the life coach itself, I think that we need to understand the life coach itself. So Razia Mohamed, tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, basically I'm a counseling life coach. That's the term I give myself. I'm a registered counselor. Now, the difference between life coaching and psychology is when you go to a psychologist, all you do is sit there on the couch and you talk and talk and talk.
And it's one of these funny couches.
And the psychologist is not allowed to advise you. Basically, what they do is they direct you to options.
Okay.
So,
isn't there a thin line in that?
But when you're dealing with a life coach, you actually feel like you went in there and you're having a conversation that's very solution focused.
Right.
So in the sense that when you walk out of there, you actually feel like you're getting somewhere in regard to your particular issue or problem.
Okay, so the person that would come to the life coach is ranging from various types of problems. When I looked at your CV early on today, I saw that the life coaches deal with from weight loss down to marital issues to general motivation. Can you take us through a string of those services rather?
I'm a firm believer that we are all products of conditionings of our past, of whatever has went on when you were younger. That is what you will be conditioned to behave like when you were older. So for example, your reactions to conflicts, for example, what you used to do when you were 10 years old, that's what you will do 20 years later, because that is the way your mind is conditioned. So my job is actually to teach you how to change that mindset, in the sense that if you were a shouter and a screamer when you were 10 years old, that's what you will do when you were older. If you
so
were
the dynamic shift is mostly from a negative sphere to a positive sphere.
Very much
across
so.
the board, basically.
Very much so. So it's basically a change of mindset. Why I say is that your inside and your outside has to be in sync. For example, if you want to lose weight, it's not about the outside. It's about what's in your mind. So if you believe you can, you can. And if you believe you can't, you can't. Either way, you are right.
So you're encompassing the tri concept of mind, body, and soul.
Yes.
Does that form an underlying focus of what you do?
Yes, very much so. Because I believe that the inside and the outside basically has to gel with each other. Because it's just so much you're looking good on the outside and on the inside you a mess. So what I do is I try to fix up the issues, the problems, the past conditionings, what has made you into what you are today. And I try to tweak, I do,
yes,
tweak your personality in such so that you start reacting to life differently. So what you used to do will not be what you have done all the years once I'm done with you.
It's interesting you're saying that, and I know that you're simplifying that processes for the purpose of the show.
Yes.
But it's much more complex than that. There are things that are happening and there are outcomes that people are expecting that needs to happen. And then there's this component of people come to you and it's a myriad of things that need to be attended to. For example, I know before the show you mentioned the term self-confidence and that kind of thing.
Yes.
Now that, in my view, I'm not educated in that field, but in my view, it could be various things. It could be people abusing you. It could be people calling you fat. Your hairstyle could be bad. I don't know. It could be a myriad of things that's happening.
Of course.
Do you analyze all the things that are causing the problem and then go for the resolution as an entire resolution, or is it about dealing with one thing at a time?
Basically, it's a 6-step process that I would go to. I have the terrible habit of sussing out yourself through body language.
Yeah, I saw how you were looking at us when you came in the offices. I'm joking. Yeah.
So what I would do, your hands say a lot, your gestures say a lot, everything about you, how you move says a lot about you.
You're not feeling very uncomfortable right now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So what I would do is I would basically, in the first 5 minutes, I'll have a basic idea of what you are about. And then that's the areas that I will focus on. And what I do is it's seemingly normal questions, but it's very strategically placed. So I would ask you those questions which would direct you to telling me what you think you're hiding from me. So basically it's not about what you say, it's about what you don't say. That would actually bring out what's going on in the subconscious mind. So life coaching very much is about the subconscious mind. Interestingly enough, we are directed, me, you, all of us around here, we are directed by our subconscious mind, not the conscious. The conscious is the visual. So basically, I walk in the room, you take me in, you form your opinion in under a few seconds. That's your opinion. And you take in your surroundings, etc., etc. I would do the same. But your subconscious mind is the one that has all your conditionings in there.
Yes, but that forming of that opinion that you're talking about could be a predisposed opinion based on the fact of, for example, I'm sitting here, you as a Razia walk into a room. Yes. Within that 5 seconds, as you say, I create an opinion about you. But that's based on the fact that certain issues that happen in my life, I might think that you are either a good person, you might be a thief or a murderer. That's because of things that might have happened to me. Am I correct?
Perfect example of we don't see life as it is. We don't see life as it is. We see it as we are.
Correct, yes.
So I would look at a green wall, I would think something different. You would look at a green wall and see something different. Perfect example of how we are a product of our past conditionings.
Correct, yes. So how do we, I know there's this concept that people talk about, and I know women talk about a lot. It's self-intuition, and it's that feeling that you get. And is that linked up to this conditioned spheres that you're talking about? Or is that intuition something else in your view as a life coach? And I'll tell you why I'm asking you this question. Many of us, we like to see people in a positive light, and we try and do that because we don't know. We try and think scientifically about this. And then someone walks in and you get a funny feeling and you tell yourself, you know what, I should not have those thoughts. I'm being unfair to this man because he hasn't even spoken to me, but I've now created a preconceived idea that he might be a thief. I'm just giving an example.
Yes, yes.
Months go down the line, you do business with the person and they end up robbing you, and you tell yourself, you know what, I had that feeling. What was that feeling?
Okay, what is inside you, you project. What you perceive, you project out there. So if you find fault in everyone, who's the common denominator there?
Correct, yes.
Fault
I'm glad I don't do this all the time. Yeah.
The fault is within you. So what you perceive, you project. I always say, if you want to learn about life, watch 2 children play. Because they play with an innocence that we adults don't have. They don't have any preconceived ideas and notions about people and about life. It's like, he's not my friend anymore, and then he holds the friend's hand and then we're friends again. So they have a very innocent view of life.
Yes, so after that stage, you are saying that they're then exposed to the various vices, they're watching TV,
yes.
And their friends are saying, oh, but you're not supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that. And they then lose that innocence you're talking about because they're becoming the people that people want them to be.
They're basically becoming the people that, where we hear the saying that says, children learn what they live. So children will not learn by what you tell them. Don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. They learn by your action. So children learn what they lived. Basically what you are doing is you are conditioning their minds.
So now I understand that a life coach tries to understand a person and understand their positioning and where they come from to make an assessment of where they need to be.
Yes.
So what are the type of people that picks up the phone and says to you that I need a life coach, I'm going wrong some way in my life?
Well, I have such a broad spectrum and sphere of people that call me from all walks of life. I love people. I love finding out what is behind that mask, that facade that you put out there for the public. Basically what we do is we have an invisible table in our front doors. We leave the masks there when we inside within the four walls. So basically the people that live with you see the real you.
Yes.
And before you go outside, you literally or figuratively put on that mask, and then you're a different person on the outside.
It's so interesting that you're saying that, because we come across this every day.
Yes.
For example, if you speak to a businessman at a certain level, you sit in your office and you think, this is the most brilliant guy and he does this and the other. And then you get to know the family, and then after a while the wife starts becoming maybe a bit friendly with you, and she says, you just don't know what he does at home. And so you then realize, oh, we're sitting with two different people
So
here.
we are all two different people,
Yeah.
believe it or not, even if we don't realize it. So what I do is I try to uncover the mask behind the mask.
Well,
And
well,
more
what's
often
the-
sorry?
No, please continue.
More often than not, within the first 10 minutes, with strategic questions, I'll be able to uncover that mask.
Now, looking into what the person is about helps you to determine how we're going to go forward in terms of a corrective treatment or situation to get the person to where they want to be. Some of these situations, what are they? Is it things like, I see you talk about weight loss, it's self-confidence.
Yeah.
How do you treat those things? Are there exercises? Does it take time, over weeks, months? How does all of that happen?
Okay, I work with a process called neuro-linguistic programming, NLP for short. That sounds like psych mumbo-jumbo,
Yes.
but what it actually is I will do a series of activities with you that will uncover what's going on in your subconscious mind. So the reason, for example, for you not losing weight is probably your past conditioning about someone telling you how unattractive you are, how you will amount to nothing, how to lower your self-esteem, how not to have self-confidence. So what, more often than not, what you would do is you would comfort food eat. I eat all the nice yummy stuff to make myself happy.
Yes.
And then that's how you don't lose the
So
weight.
there's a level of substitution in
There's
that.
always an emotional reason for everything. There's always emotion involved. Okay, we women are 70% emotion, 30%
Are you sure it's not a bit
reason.
more than that? Because the formula seems to be changing.
And then men are 70% logic and rational, 30% emotion. That is why women uncover a situation to the depth and analyze it, and men move on very quickly.
And I've been talking to some people in the last couple of days about that, and someone used the term of over-analyzing. And
We
and
do,
I thought,
we do.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
We
you
do overanalyze everything.
Yes. So when a patient comes to you, and I can call it a patient or a subject comes to your client, and you walk them through their processes. Give me an example. Weight loss. We spoke about that, and I know that there's a lot of people watching this show that really want
It's
to
worried
get on
about
that track.
weight loss, yeah.
So what is your practical approach to weight loss from a life coach perspective? Because we know that if we look at the solutions to weight loss, there are physiological issues that go on, and like
Yes.
you're mentioning now, there are psychological issues. And we know the physiological issues. We're talking about Tim Noakes, who was recently here with us. We're talking about panting. We're talking about people doing all kinds of funny things from gymming now to, so that's the physical component of weight loss. I'm just using weight loss as an example.
Yes.
You're now talking about the psychology around weight loss. How do you approach that? What do you change that allows the weight loss to be complemented? Because now the person has a physical regimen that they're busy with,
Yes.
and you're adding on the psychological regimen. What is it that you do in that?
Okay,
Because it's definitely not a pill, so I need to know how that
No,
works.
definitely, it's
Yes.
not a pill.
Yeah.
I'm a strong advocate of don't take medication.
Right.
Don't take quick fixes, these magic pills and these magic drugs that
Yes.
are out there.
But you agree with the watching what you eat and doing a bit of
Most
exercise?
definitely, yes.
Okay.
So I'm a firm believer that there's no magic pill out there. Otherwise, everyone would be in perfect shape. The thing is that it's all psychological. So what I would do is, most definitely in your first session, you are going to have a seriously long emotional crying session, because that will be what someone has told you in your past about how and why you will never look physically the way that you want to be. So what we would do is we would uncover the reasons for that. And then in the 6-step process is where I will get you to physically go to the gym, to physically image consult, to physically fix up the outside, while I uncover the processes of fixing you up on the inside. Sorry for saying fixing
Yes.
you up, but that's basically what people want.
Yes.
Is that they want to be, they are broken, so they basically want to be fine-tuned and fixed up.
Is this a process of breaking down things in layers? Because the way I see it in my mind is that a person picks up a little bit of weight, I'm just giving you an example,
Yes.
and they feel to themselves, and someone makes a comment here on the side, and they now feel, I picked up a bit of weight, so I no longer will do this, and then they pick up another few kilos, and I no longer will do that, and now they are moving towards becoming somebody else, looking like somebody else, and acting like someone else, because they now don't care anymore at all. But it started with this 1 kilo. Now, there are layers that are being put on there. Do you kind of strip away at those layers and move backwards?
We very much, you hit the nail on the head, we very much the onion. So basically what I do is break open the layers until we get to that core. But with life coaching, as I say, it's a much more quicker process than what a psychiatrist or a psychologist would do. So that is why life coaches are actually a strong opposition for psychologists and psychiatrists. I used to do the psych method because I'm in this business for 15 years now. And I find that the life coaching process is way much more progressive and productive.
On a personal level, you, as Razia Mohamed, the life coach, now, if people need to, maybe I'd be able to deal with it, I'm not sure, but I do inherit a lot of people's problems because of the type of work we do.
Yes.
But many people cannot do that. They will just become all flustered and just fall to
Yes.
pieces. How do you deal with that? Because everyone is coming to you,
Yes.
and you need to maintain that compassion and that level of balance all the time. But are you not absorbing a lot of things that you need an outlet for? Because in the end of the day, this is, again, and I'm sounding like one of these funny people, it's energy, and they're downloading this energy on you.
Yes.
Where's it going?
So with, when I do, for example, if you come to me and you are a client, so with practice over the years, I have learned to divorce myself from your problem. So I empathize with what you're going through, but I do not make it my own.
Right.
Like I say, 15 years ago, my very first client was a 9-year-old child that got raped. And what I've done is I went to my lecturer and I said, I can't do this. I don't think I can do this. But 15 years down the line, if I get a child that's 9 years old that has been raped by her dad, I go into solution mode. And immediately I want to fix you. So I divorce myself from your actual problem, but I empathize with what you're going through. And once you walk out of there, you walk away with whatever it is I've left you with. I don't go home and own the problem.
Part of what you do, are you driven by the fact that you attend to somebody on whatever level it is, and they walk out a better person, and they live a better life? Is that a motivation to you?
There's nothing more enriching for me than actually looking and watching that paradigm shift, that change in a person. Like Mr. Garifree said, that eventually he's going to keep me so busy that I won't have time for one-on-one clients. And I said, no, I will definitely make time for that one-on-one clients, because it's that shift and that paradigm, you know, that change that you get in a person where the light bulb comes on.
Yes.
And they actually like, oh, I never looked at it like that, but thank you.
Correct, yes.
That is my enrichment. That is, I feel like double empowered when I see that.
You know, many times you tell someone, you know what, you have an issue. You need to go and see a psychologist or an expert. And people believe they're on top of their life, so it's all perfect because they're in that bubble. And it's all going well and for them, but everyone else sees the problem, and you tell this person, I think you need to seek professional help, and they say, no, you must be crazy to send me there. And I think that's something that our society needs to break. The one thing we pick up, and this is my own assumption, you as a professional, you might be able to correct me on this. I see South Africans becoming ever more stressed out. I see them becoming more wilder. They're becoming, if not wilder, they're becoming, the road rage is continuing. If you look at people in queues, they're getting agitated with people. It means that there's a bigger problem going on and people are becoming stressed. So there's all the more need to be able to manage that process. And so people like you come into that. But it's about people acknowledging that they need to do this, and they're not doing that. And that's the mindset shift that we need to look at.
Yes. You see, physical abuse, sexual abuse, it's all things that you can see. So physical abuse, you have a cut on your hand, you know that you need to go to the pharmacy, you need to go to the doctor, you need to sort it out. Mental and emotional abuse is something that you cannot see. So how you would maintain your physical self, your hair, your skin, your body, weight loss, etc., you won't think to maintain your mind, which is actually, in my opinion, even more important. Because your mind is what conditions your body to move along, whether it be productive or regressive, whatever it may be. So the moment you come to the realization that I have a mental problem, not in the sense that you're crazy, in the sense that maybe I need a professional to help me with this. That is, you're actually doing yourself a great favor, because you're now seeking the help of a professional. You won't indulge in activities like road rage, because all of that is anger that is within you. We know anger comes from where? From the devil.
Correct.
So it's all anger that's deep-seated. So every time, like I say, what you perceive is what you project. So he cuts in front of me, I need to kill him now.
No, of course. And so that's been a dynamic shift that we see, and a trend that's happening.
Yes.
So again, it's all the more need to consult people like you. Razia, it's been wonderful having you on the show. I'd like to have you back on when you're back in Cape Town.
Sure.
And I hope that our viewers will get in touch with you so that they may benefit from you. We can have your details on the screen.
Thank you so much for having me, Faizal, and I hope to be back soon.
Thank you. I hope to see Razia soon, not under the conditions that you guys think that I need to see her, but some very important things, from weight loss down to road rage, all the kind of things that could go wrong. There's someone to help you out there, and I think that's something we need to realize. Thank you for joining us on this interesting episode. Goodbye.